Alright, I think it works. Alright, so it's finally time to fix this KWA MP9. I got my low power CQB bolt, as well as the original high power bolt, but I have two hop-up rubbers, one to install and one as a backup. So we'll take a look at how this thing kind of failed over time and what can be done about it. So let's get started. Would help if I use a screwdriver. Yeah. Well, no magazine, no BB. Good to go. So I'm gonna just disassemble by opening this up, and I also realized I should probably put my witness monitor up so I can actually see what I'm doing on camera or not. I'm gonna do that in a second here. Let's put that up. Cool. Alrighty. Release the rear takedown pin. Catch this so it doesn't go across the room. Cool, so that spring's there. Done with this piece. So really the failure mode that was occurring, I guess, to illustrate on camera here, I've got this brand new CQB bolt, which should help illustrate. So, and I already opened up one of these rubbers to test. Rubbers. So, here's the bolt, here's the piston housing, and here's the piston head itself. What was happening was, for whatever reason, the hop-up rubber had swollen. So normally it's supposed to have enough friction that it grabs onto the blowback unit just enough to keep it from sliding out immediately. As well, there's this flat, it's going to be really hard to see. Can I show it on camera? I need a white card, or maybe a white piece of plastic here. And it's just visible on camera there. And I can probably put this into focus too while I'm at it. Yeah, if I put this up, and get a good close-up view, you can see the flat side there is supposed to interface with the hop-up like that. So you'll see the flat spot is aligned with the BB pickup protrusion. Not even sure exactly what it's called. Basically, it's the part that goes into the magazine and pushes a BB out and into the hop-up rubber. That's supposed to interface like that. Put this back there. Yeah, good, close enough. Good enough for government job. Alright, let's continue stripping this down. So, what happens is the hop-up rubber wears out and it no longer functions correctly. So, to do this, let's depress that, pull the pin, pull the retaining spring and that part, press that, and here we go. Pretty much the whole unit removed. So that's the lower receiver, don't need to deal with that. What I've got here is the barrel and hop-up assembly. This is the part I need to replace. So I guess to compare side by side, that's what the two look like side by side. Let's flip them right side up. So you can see the flat nub on the on your left-hand side, and the very worn hop-up rubber on the right-hand side that's actually in the unit. So, time to replace it. Let's see if I can do this before dinner is required. Let's see, I'm not sure if this Allen key is small enough. I guess another thing that I'm going to need to do is replace the springs now that I diagnosed it. And while I'm here, I can actually test the new hop-up rubber on the old blowback housing. And yeah, it holds on to it just fine, so I just need to replace the springs. Easily done. The difference between the high power and the low power bolt is there's a little additional piece of plastic restricting the amount of gas flow pushing the BB out. So you don't save any more gas per se, because the amount of gas released is really dependent on the hammer striking the valve on the magazine and the force and duration of that impact, but less gas goes down the barrel pushing the BB. So let's get this thing open. Good old metric 1.5 mil set screw. And I think this should just push out. Yeah, there we go. Now I think part of the issue with these rubbers swelling up and getting chewed up like this is they apparently pick up silicone oil almost fatally. So as I have learned, apparently you don't want to get any silicone oil on those at all, and if you can, clean it up before you put any more parts in. So let's remove parts one by one here and see if I can get to the bottom of this. I think we're just going to have to yank that off even if it chews it up a little bit. Alright, so there's the old rubber. Oh yeah, and the BB, the little tiny ball bearing that you don't want to lose, is right there. So let's clean this up. Work was throwing these out. You can probably get something very similar from like AliExpress for dirt cheap. Some good old Shoppers Drug Mart branded alcohol. Don't need a lot. Just get that soaked in there and run the swab through. I should probably do this over a towel so I'm not getting flammable solvent everywhere. And this is going to be when I discover I have little tiny cuts on my fingers probably, because it's going to burn like a son of a bitch if I do. Yeah, you can see all the little bits of rubber coming out of it here too, so this is probably an overdue action. These teeth are actually the teeth that engage with the hop-up adjustment tool that comes stock from the, what's it called? It comes stock from KWA, from the manufacturer. Okay, that's cleaned out. Might as well swab this down to try and remove any alcohol residues. Looks like there's a bit of corrosion or something going on here. I'm not going to bother to swab the inside of the barrel just on premise of trying to do this quickly before dinner. I am, however, going to go down this and try and get as much oil out of here as possible, because that's where oil is going to kind of seep back and cause some problems later. So hopefully that's going to be enough oil removal. This might take a minute to blow all the alcohol out. Alright, so how does this actually install? I think what I need to do is line up the rubber like that. Yeah, okay, so the hop-up nub is now aligned to the opening. so there's the hop-up window. I should put the other screen up. So here's the hop-up window, and you can kind of see the, well, okay, you can see the BB indentation where the little ball bearing goes, and you should be able to see in there, maybe. There is, if you can't see it, trust me, it's there, the hop-up patch itself. And there is a little ridge on the bottom indexing 6 o'clock. If this position at the BB indentation was 12 o'clock, this is indexed at 6 o'clock, which interfaces with this groove on the bottom of the hop-up window. So line those up. Oops, go figure. Line those up. Ease that in. That's done. I guess the BB goes in now. And then I guess I have to attack this from the other direction. So that's why this C-clip is here. So I guess I can remove this circlip. Try not to scratch up my barrel in the process, but it's on the outside, so it really is just cosmetic at that point. Well, and corrosion maybe. Kidding me? How do I get rid of this clip? There we go. Alright. So why don't I put that in focus there so you can actually see what's going on. And maybe even zoom in a little more. Oh, I can actually focus on the dirt on the lens. That's funny. Alright. Exposure up, focus it in. Cool. Okay, so I removed the circlip from the back. I've got a couple other components. I believe at this point I slide this in from the back end. And now is when I put the metal BB in. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers here. Get back here. Alright, BB's in. Slide this over. No. This might be a little bit more work than it's cut out to be. I might have to okay, yeah. So I have to press down to get that BB to stay in place. Slide this over. And then I'm just gently wiggling it until it's in place, I guess. It doesn't seem to want to rotate. I'm just trying to see here. There's supposed to be a ramp going in a certain direction here to, I guess, tighten up. And it looks like this position here, oh, can't see that on camera. So on the inside there is a groove cut, and this is the position with the least amount of hop-up, and this is the position with the most amount of hop-up. So I had it indexed to maximum hop-up, which is why it was so difficult to put in place. So let's try this again, but indexing for minimum hop-up. Oh, actually, no, maybe I had it on minimum hop-up. Alright, well, I seem to have it this time. But it doesn't seem to want to rotate. I'm already starting to chew up the rubber. This is... Oh, maybe that's just debris. Yeah, this is kind of frustratingly difficult to reassemble. It kind of seems like this is just a really stiff hop up to adjust. Alright, so I guess at this stage I can put the circlip back in place. Ah, screw this. Use my multi-tool. Alright, circlip's in place again. And this clip's supposed to go on, I think, this way. And it just helps index the, I think this extra clip here just helps index the maximum travel of the, it prevents over travel, this extra outer clip that was just sitting on top. Because it indexes to a notch here and that notch there. So I think that's it. Let me just run one more cleaning swab through here to make sure I get all the crap out of it. Seems like I'm still picking up stuff, including oil. Just doing more cleaning. Yeah, alright. That's good enough. Ah, yes, okay, so this notch on the clip indexes with, you can get it, that track right there. Slide this back, and I think it just goes in, oops. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does index there. But this ring is actually what provides the tactile feedback. You can hear it. You know, I'll move it close to the microphone. I can't seem to do it, reproduce it on camera now. Yeah. That's what gives you your tactile feedback on which notch your hop-up setting is on. Okay, so that seems to be in place now. So barrel and the hop-up assembly was reinserted. So now I think I just need to put this Allen set screw back in and tighten it down all the way. And that is good to go. Cool. So that's reassembled. Now let's give this a test. I'm going to leave the high power bolt out for now. So this is how it interfaces with the hop-up unit. It goes there. Yep. That works perfectly. The notch is indexed on the bottom. I can't see it because it's so dark. So probably need to go and get my hop-up adjustment tool to kind of play around with the hop-up settings. Seems like this hop-up really wants to rotate, so it's almost like you have to set the hop-up with the barrel removed. It's kind of frustrating. Okay, so I'm going to start reassembling this and see if it cycles correctly. Okay, there we go. Lower receiver, everything's indexed correctly. CQB bolt, get this installed. Right, and the disconnector. And there we go. Disconnector's in place. Slide this back. Dang it. Get the spring reinstalled. Oh, don't give out on me now, spring. Why aren't you going all the way in? There we go. Just needed to push the barrel assembly far enough back. Yeah, okay, so that actually interfaces correctly. Cool. So the old hop-up rubber is remarkably deformed and swollen, so that is literally garbage now. The alcohol I no longer need. This high power bolt's going to get stripped, cleaned, and overhauled. And in theory, this should work now. I'll have to take this to the test range that I set up at home during this pandemic, and we'll see if this works. It cycles correctly, everything's aligned. Put the top back on. I think this is the quickest teching job that I've done on the MP9, because I don't have to overhaul the bolt this time. Actually, I just realized I can zoom this guy back out and refocus it. There we go. Yeah, alright, so now you can see all the views. Something's not lining up. No, the lock is in the correct position. That's all correct. Why isn't it seating? Unless something funny is going on with the bolt. It could be that the bolt has slightly different tolerances on the... No? It's about the same dimensions. The, I'll just demonstrate on camera here. The charging handle interfaces right here, so it should fit, and it does fit. But for whatever reason, I can't seem to get the cover on when making this change up to the low power bolt. Maybe this is just learning experience. Doesn't want to seat. When the back goes in place, the front opens up again. What is it stuck on? Oh, literally nothing. It's not stuck on anything. It's just a little deformed. Alright, so I just need to put the front screw back in and it should be working again. We will have to test it tonight. And I think this is going to be a real quick stream, 24 minutes. Cool, that's all in place. Let's test it with a, not inert magazine, but a drum magazine that has no HPA connected to it, just so I can see the feeding. So, drop the bolt. The BB is chambered. I should eventually start seeing BBs come out the front of this. It's definitely chambering BBs. So I don't know why they're not coming out the front. Oh, yep, there they are. Okay, so it is chambering BBs correctly now. Magazine release. We'll have to take it out to the range and test it tonight. Wow, I guess after a slight cleaning, that barrel really doesn't want to release its BBs. I think you can still hear that BB in there. Let's check down the length of the barrel. Yeah, it's still in there. It's definitely still in there. Maybe gonna run a cleaning swab through it, or just shoot a couple BBs to clear any debris out. Okay, well, I think that's it for now. So that's how you replace the hop-up rubber. 20 minutes, quick job. Peace out.